Welcome back to Bible Basics for New Believers. Today we are going to talk about Bible translations and a little bit about study Bibles. And we're going to answer the question, which Bible should I read? As a new believer, you will notice that there are any number of Bibles out there. I would recommend that you get a plain text Bible, and once you've read that through once or twice, you should move on to a good study Bible. Now that we know that we want a basic text Bible, we need to decide on what translation. And once again, we see that there are any number of translations out there. We might ask the question, why? Well, there are several reasons. One reason is that language changes. We know that our grandparents and our grandchildren speak almost two different languages, although we still can understand one another. Second of all, there are two different types of translations. There are word-by-word translations, which we call literal translations, and there are thought-for-thought translations, which we call dynamic equivalent translations. And finally, since the original translation, we have a lot more original manuscripts to look at. Don't let the number of translations frighten you in any way. Jesus himself actually quoted from translation of the Old Testament. That was a translation that was made from the original Hebrew into the Greek. And also in comparing different translations, we get a better sense of what the original manuscript said. So which is the best translation? First of all, let me say that there is no one right translation. Some will tell you that the King James Version is the only authorized version. That simply isn't so. The King James Version, although it is a very good translation, is very difficult to understand. It is written in a language similar to that of Shakespeare, and we know how difficult that can be to understand. As a rule of thumb, you will want to choose a Bible that is more literal in interpretation. Some of the Bibles that are that way would be the standard type Bibles. That would be the New American Standard Bible, the English Standard Bible, the Revised Standard Bible, and the Holman Christian Standard Bible. The King James and the New King James are also very literal translations. Bridging the gap between the word-for-word translations and the thought-for-thought translations are the NIV, the New International Version, and the CSB, the Christian Standard Bible. And you can always go online and read any of these translations before you make a choice. You may also want to consider what Bible your church or your pastor uses so you can follow along more easily. Although I have recommended that you stick to a more literal translation, it is better to have a less literal translation that you will read than to have a literal translation that you will not read. So what about study Bibles? I certainly do recommend you get a good study Bible, but I don't recommend that for first-time readers. And the reason is that the extra material can bog you down. But once you've read through your Bible once or twice, I think you will be ready to buy a good study Bible. All study Bibles are helpful in that they give you good notes, they give you good maps, they give you charts, and they give you all sorts of information that help you in the study of your Bible. I personally have used the NIV Study Bible, I have used the MacArthur Study Bible, and I have used the English Standard Version Study Bible. All of these Bibles I can highly recommend. I've included a link below where you can compare the different study Bibles available and make a choice that is right for you. I hope the information in this video has been helpful to you in deciding on what Bible to choose and buy. In our next video, we're going to talk about Bible reading plans. Until next time, God bless.